So 30 minutes or fewer or less. So sorry, it's Jesse Eisenberg, who I quite like. He's a pizza delivery guy. The whole thing is the pizza delivery company delivers in 30 minutes or less or fewer. Yeah, no, you have. I'm sorry, it's not going to work either.
We have to stay. The title is less. We'll stick with less, and everyone just have to lump it.
So then Danny McBride is doing the usual Danny McBride performance. I sometimes wonder about Danny McBride, whether or not when Danny McBride always plays those guys with the terrible haircuts, who's the awful schlub and the bad facial hair. Does he have? He presumably has to live like that for the rest of his life, which suggests because that's how he gets those roles. Anyway, so the deal is he decides that in order to get some money, he needs to do away with his dad. In order to do away with his dad, he needs some money to get an assassin to do that. So he needs to rob a bank, but he doesn't want to rob the bank himself. So what he does is he calls the pizza delivery guy, who will arrive in 30 minutes or fewer, and as soon as the pizza delivery guy gets there, he kidnaps him, straps him to a bomb, and says, right, you go rob the bank for me. Here's a clip.
Right now, you are wearing a highly explosive bomb vest. Can we take the tape off? I'm trusting you now.
Help! Help!
Help! Someone help him!
Why are you doing this to me?
For money, dude.
Cha-cha-cha-ching. I'll get you $1,000, I swear to God, please.
We're gonna need $100,000. Go ahead and tell him about the bomb vest.
There's a little remote detonator on the back. We can trigger at any time by dialing a number. Boop, 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 boop.
Allow me to make a little demonstration for you. Pay attention to the cuddly bear there on the barrel. Ring, ring, ring. Hello, bear. How's it going? What do you mean you couldn't rob the bank? It was too hard? Well, that's a shame, my stuff buddy. Because time is up. Whew. I like that bear. I don't even know you.
The interesting thing is most of that's in the trailer anyway, and actually most of the film is in the trailer. So that's the setup. So he's got a bomb strapped to him. He has to go and do the job. He gets his best friend, who's also the brother of the woman with whom he's in love, to help him as his Ansari. And together they discover that actually they can rob a bank, but maybe they'll be able to pull it together to outwit the Danny McBride character. So the plot in its own way is irrelevant. It's just for an opportunity for the people to do their shtick. The guy who directed, Ruben Fleischer, directed Zombieland. And Zombieland did you see Zombieland? It was that sort of...
I don't think I did.
Well, it was okay. Zombieland was kind of fun. I mean, totally, in one ear and out the other. But
clearly, as I've just proved.
But perfect. Yes, exactly. And it's not the fact that you didn't see it. It's the fact that if you did see it, you can't remember. Well, believe me, 30 minutes or fewer, it will linger in the mind for even less long. I mean, there are certain things in it at the beginning that raise a little bit of a chuckle, and certainly this was one of the weeks in which raising a bit of a chuckle was considered to be, worth doing. But as with any of those movies, as soon as the mechanics of the plot take over, as soon as it actually starts getting into car chases and action sequences and flamethrowers, and the bigger it gets, the less funny it gets. So although there are some laughs at the beginning, I like Jesse Eisenberg. The interesting thing with Jesse Eisenberg is that after Social Network, I think what I thought was that Social Network got so much attention and so much serious critical attention that actually what he would do is he'd turn his back on all the sort of slacker roles that he was doing before and say, okay, well, now I've moved up into a different area. But evidently he hasn't. I mean, Zombieland 2 is being made, I don't know whether he's involved in that, but it is funny that you kind of assume that what happens in actors' career trajectories is that they build up from role to role, and each role leads them on to the next big thing and the thing after that. But actually, as anybody tell you, any jobbing actor will tell you, it doesn't work like that at all. What happens is you take the work that's going, and then every now and then there's something that suddenly elevates you out of the normal area in which you find yourself, but then you're back to doing the rest of it. So this just looks like continuation of the career, as if the Oscar buzz around Social Network didn't happen at all. And it's not without laughs. I mean, it's nothing like as funny as I needed it to be, but there were some sort of, titters and guffaws early on, largely because he does that sort of, slacker shtick quite well. And there's some interest. Sorry, you're going to try and say...
No, I have a query. I have a query about that. Just so you've described the setup, or you described what happened.
Yeah.
I just want whether, if you're going to make a comedy about someone who has a bomb vest strapped to them, that it has to be really funny, very good.
Really
to go,
funny.
You know what?
I know. And see, that's the problem. As soon as the mechanics of the plot start kicking in and it starts becoming that is exactly the problem, is that you start thinking, yeah, no, not really. No. I mean, it's not, although it's completely incomparable movies, but it's not Four Lions, for example. But in a way, the thing is so flimsy and so forgettable and so, so almost utterly without trace that exactly that issue that you just raised almost isn't an issue, because to take the film seriously enough to be bothered by that sort of stuff, you'd have to take it more seriously than it needs to be taken in the first place.